Hello, welcome to the webinar. Thank you for being here. That was straight hair Lori. Now you're getting Farrah Fawcett, Lori. I'm glad you're here. We'll go over building positive trading habits. I did a webinar about a year ago on how to kick bad trading habits. I thought I would take it from a different angle. There's some new apps out there and some new things I've tried that have worked really well, so I thought I'd share that. We'll get started in just a few seconds. As always, ask any questions in chat. I'll try to keep up with chat as I'm going through the presentation, and then there will be time at the end for questions as well. Hey, Success, how are ya? Thank you for being here. Kind of a crazy day to have a webinar, but the market has been volatile, even more so since the election, so we got to get used to it. And we'll talk about that as well, changing market conditions and how we need to adapt. Let's get started. Hello, this is who I am. I'm ChartGal Lori. Thank you for being here. If you want to give me a follow on X at ChartGal Lori, that would be lovely. Let's get started. All right, building positive trading habits. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Stay focused and manage your risk effectively. Our goal today is, well, let me tell you who I am first. Hi, I'm Lori. I've been a trader for the last 9 years. I'm a live streamer for Chart Guys. We teach technical analysis. I'm a former healthcare management CEO. I have an MBA, but it's not very helpful in trading. And I'll just tell you briefly how I got started in trading. I sold my company back in 2016, and I thought I could take that money and retire. That was my goal, was to retire. And then I noticed that my financial advisor had everything in REITs, which she got a 12% commission in. And I'm like, oh, I have an MBA. I can figure this out. It's from an SEC school. But how hard can it be? LSU, LSU education. Well, it is very hard. So I wanted to be a technical analyst, not a fundamental trader. I figured out quickly that just because I loved a company doesn't mean that it will run up forever. I started out trading Lulu because I love Lulu, and it just didn't work like that. So I learned technicals. I found Chart Guys very shortly after I started trading, about a year after I started trading. I found Chart Guys 8 years ago. Wow, has it been 8 or 9? I don't know. I can't do 8 years since I found Chart Guys. So it's been awesome, and I've learned technical analysis, and that's what we do, is we teach technical analysis. And what I'm going to do today is we'll go over why habits matter in trading, the power of consistency in trading, the role of discipline in trading, how to build good habits and begin habit stacking, and some risk management tips. And I'll leave you with a challenge as well at the end. And this is probably the most important slide. I probably shouldn't give you the most important slide at the beginning because then you'll log off. But structure, in order to make meaningful change in your life and trading, structure is needed. We don't have a boss. We're the boss. We don't have SOPs. We don't have work policies. You have to develop the structure on your own. Structure is needed. And it's kind of interesting that I throw this out as the most important concept at the beginning, because the guy that taught me trading, Charting Man Dan, he's kind of he is a relaxed guy. And when you look at him, long hair, just groovy, loves funk, you wouldn't think structure, but that man has a ton of structure around his trading and his life. So structure is needed in order to be a successful trader. And if you're fighting it, if you're fighting structure, then you're probably not having very good trading results. And the challenge at the end is based on the concept from Mark Douglas's book, Trading in the Zone, where he challenges you to 20 or 25 trades using one setup and log your results. And that's something similar to what I'll be challenging you with at the end. Preparation. I can't overemphasize enough the importance of preparation. Analyze your charts on the weekends, mornings, nights. And I say mornings, nights because it's got to fit your schedule. It's best to look at charts on higher time frames to identify the most likely scenarios. We are in the business of probabilities, and the higher the time frame, the higher the probability of the scenario. Analyze the charts, then come back to the charts with a fresh perspective. Similar writing reports for school. You need that fresh perspective. Don't just do your analysis on one fell swoop and then say that's it. Set alerts for oversold condition, trend lines crossing, price crossing, moving average crossing. We don't have to be a slave to the charts. If you're a full-time worker and you trade on the side, alerts are your best friend. I promise you, there are tons of full-time day traders that would tell you that we would have been better off in some scenarios if we'd been working full-time and then just had an alert and let the trade work out versus micromanaging it. So use your job to your advantage, and that can be done through setting alerts. Analyze the market conditions before placing trades. Interesting that this webinar is today because market conditions shifted today. We had a much longer term time frame shift today, even though the shift was on one day where we broke some key supports on longer time frames on QQQ, and that was a lot to do with Nvidia and their earnings. They beat, but looks like the market was expecting more. Again, I don't get into fundamentals. We're looking at technicals, and technicals, we broke a lot of long-term supports today. Create a standardized prep checklist and notice if you're feeling off mentally, physically. Do you have a doctor's appointment? Do you have a kid event at school? Whatever you have that may take you away from trading and not keep you fully in the trade, then factor that into your decision making. The beauty of trading is we don't have to trade every day. Unless you're a trader who works on a prop firm floor and you're watched and you have to put in X number of trades per day, you don't have, don't install. Okay. You don't have to trade every day. And that's the beauty of trading. You may be a surgeon. If you're a surgeon and you're feeling off and you have patients on the books, you have to go in and do those surgeries. With trading, we don't have to trade every day. Develop a trading plan. You need your entry and exit strategies, your risk management rules. Write them down. You need rules. Create a written trading plan. What is your edge? If you can explain to me in a minute or less what your ideal edge is and what's your edge that works with a higher probability than not, then you don't have an edge. You need to be able to explain it. And maybe you don't talk trading every day like I have to talk it and verbalize from my brain out my mouth what I'm looking at. But you should be able to articulate, even if it's in writing on an Excel spreadsheet, what your specific edge is. Is it a stair step? I like the beach ball setup. Are you a reversion trader? Which reversion traders have to have more rules. They have to have more rules than other traders because you're fighting the trend, just as an example. What sectors are you focusing on? You don't have to focus on every sector. Matter of fact, I would say don't focus on every sector. Maybe you're a commodities trader, a futures trader only. Maybe you only trade the indices. Maybe you only trade options on high beta. Whatever it is, focus on that. I can tell you, you will likely have more success being a trading specialist. And maybe you're a trader specialist that specializes in mean reversions and you go sector to sector looking for those bottoming patterns. Whatever it is, be a specialist. What indicators are you using? Define those. Trust me, the more indicators you have on your chart does not equal success. God, I know, I've tried them all. What alerts support your specific edge? Is it moving averages crossing, or is it when gaps are filled? We have a gap down in Tesla at 255.28, I believe, and I have that alert set. I like when gaps fill, and then we have a reversal on that gap fill on a shorter term time frame and looking for that long. As an example, that's one of the edges that I like. So what alerts support your specific edge? Hi, S. Malik and Bart and Juan. Welcome. Develop your trading plan. And this is just a sample trading plan. This isn't my specific trading plan. It's very close. First of all, looking at your time frame, your risk management, and look, notice how risk management comes right after time frame. It's super important. Without capital, you have no trading. Without money, you have no trading. What conditions are you looking for? What markets, entries, where are your stops? What are your profit targets? Are your stop losses? Develop your trading plan. Here's an example of a set of rules. No entries before 8 a.m. Mountain Time. Now, my best entries come at market open. Not everyone is a great market open trader. It can be more difficult, but some of my better entries come at market open. Some people need things to settle in. So the first 30 minutes after market open, then you have an opening range breakout trader or orb trader where you say, okay, here's the top and bottom of the first 30 minutes, and I will trade a breakout or a breakdown of that orb, that opening range, that 15 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever your time frames are. 3 strikes and you're out. That could be one of your rules. So you're looking to bottom fish Tesla and 3 strikes and you're out. That could be one of your rules. You wait for your trading edge to present and you enter on the right side of the V. I can tell you this is the rule that I have suffered from the most as far as being premature to reversal plays and entering on the left side versus waiting for the trade to reverse and then enter on the right side of the V with a stair step, for example, waiting for a 5-minute stair step to break bull and then put your stop below the low. And if you don't know what I mean with stair step, you can look up YouTube Chart Guys, and Dan has a video on stair step trading. Oh, and hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Position size no greater than X. Maybe your standard position size is $100 or $1,000, and it is no greater if it's a super high conviction setup, which I condone super high conviction setups, upping your position size, but your position size will be no greater than, let's say, $5,000, and that's a derivative of what size your account is. Stop losses on all positions. This is a non-negotiable. This is how traders are no longer trading, because they refuse to use stop losses because their ego gets in the way. And stop losses are a way that a lot of us translate a stop loss being hit as saying we're wrong. And this is a game of probabilities. If a stop loss is hit, that just means that the trade didn't work out. The probabilities didn't go in your favor. That doesn't mean you're wrong. That just means the trade didn't work out. One of my rules is watch the chart. I have never had a P&L make me money, ever. P&Ls do not make you money. Charts make you money. Watch the charts, not P&L. Don't overtrade. This is another one of my earlier on issues. And I'll be honest, maybe the first 5 years I suffered from this. And it's also a component of me being a chart gal in that I'm looking at charts all day. I look at setups. I'm like, ooh, I like that setup. And it's just, the over trading does not equal more profits. Matter of fact, it likely and more often than not eats into your profits. Example of a set of rules, check your trade plan before entering. Check that you reviewed necessary variables. A variable would be, if you're trading gold, you should be watching the dollar. If you're watching oil, you should know when inventory is. If you're watching nat gas, you should know when inventory is. That's an example of checking all the variables. If you're trading MSTR, you should be watching Bitcoin. And then no distracted trading. So again, if you have an appointment or something coming up that you know is important and inevitable, or you're going on vacation, let's say you're going on vacation next week, it's not in your best interest to put on option trades that expire next Friday. And I'm guilty of that. That's why I'm using that as an example. And I want to go back to number 8 and just save you a little bit of money maybe. When I first started going to therapy for trading, I explained to my therapist, I'm taking losses, and we had to really dig into why I was taking losses. Was it because I wasn't a good technical analyst? Not necessarily at the time that I was talking to her about this. I was pretty much on my A game as far as technical analysis. And this woman, she crocheted. She was in her 60s. She crocheted. That was her hobby. Just to kind of give you a visual, not that being in your 60s is bad, just to give you a visual. She had no clue what trading was. And she didn't need to know what trading was to say, hey, do you have a list of the doodads? That was the exact word she used. That's probably why I liked her. She had a lot of metaphors and analogies. Do you have a list of doodads that need to be in order before you take a trade? Yeah. Okay. Well, check that checklist of doodads and don't enter unless the doodad is present. So yeah, you just got to a webinar where I'm saying doodads. Be sure that you check that everything is present before you enter. Routine and healthy habits. This is something I come back to often. Is trading requires you to face your weaknesses in your life that are otherwise you're ignoring. One of my biggest weaknesses that I had is self-sabotage. You start a healthy eating plan and then you go buy chocolate. Self-sabotage. If you suffer from self-sabotage in anywhere in your life, you are likely facing it in trading, and the need to self-sabotage and why you have to address. That's one of the beauties of trading is it forces you to look at things in your life that's not working. And I know that sounds kind of like gobbledygook, but it's true. Going to bed at the same time every night, waking up at the same time every morning, monitoring your diet choice and exercise, and recognizing when your routine is off, and then getting professional help when required. I know that not every therapist specializes in trading. I've never had one that does specialize in trading. But I can tell you that most professionals decent therapists can help you with whatever you're afflicted with as it relates to trading, whether it's self-sabotage, whether it's a discipline issue, they can help you. Meditate or utilize whatever spiritual tools you have to center your thoughts. Here's just an example of a morning routine. I've recently added the hatch alarm to my morning routine. It wakes you up with just kind of real natural light that gradually gets brighter, and it's a less alarming way of waking up. Excuse the bad pun, but it's a more relaxed way of waking up versus getting jolted with an alarm. Meditate, get your head straight, and whatever that looks like, if that's going for a run, if that's calling your mom, whatever it is, get your head on straight. Drink coffee, protein shake, water, whatever it is. Shower, get dressed. I've done the pajama trading where your teeth aren't brushed and your hair's not brushed. I brush my hair for y'all, but I've done that before, and I trade better when I feel good about myself and I am pulled together and squared away, even if that is a little bit of a little lounge set, whatever it is. I want to be pulled together. I'm wearing my jewelry. I love wearing jewelry. And that doesn't mean you have to wear jewelry to be a successful trader. It just means get yourself in a mindset that is required of you in order to make good decisions. They've done a study before. People who go take their ACT or standardized testing, they do better on standardized testing when they feel good about themselves. So whatever that looks like for you. Set alerts, set up your orders. If you live stream with me on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings in TCG where we live stream, you see me set up my active trader on Thinkorswim. I share it often where I set up my options, the quantity I want, the strike I want, and I share them with TCG members as I'm doing it. But I set up my orders before the market opens, and you can ask the TCG members, if I don't do that, I feel rushed, I feel hurried, and I don't get my orders off in time, and it's not a good outcome. And then go for a walk. And in whatever order makes sense for you. Maybe go for a walk before the market opens and get some sunshine wherever possible. I know a lot of people are all over the world as they're watching this. So whatever that looks like for you, but get your head on straight before you start your trading. An example of an evening routine is log and review all your trade. I guess I should have put go for a walk before analyzing your trades, but you definitely want to log and review all your trades before you get up from the computer. And I think I did it on another slide. I'm going to save you a lot of money with mentoring. If you were going to, I don't mentor currently, but if you were going to pay me to mentor you, that's one of the first things I'm going to have you do. I can't help you unless I see what you're doing. And you don't have to have a coach or a trading mentor in order to log all of your own trades. Go for a walk, clear your mind, then come back and analyze the trades looking for deviations from process. Notice, I didn't say look for losses and find out what you did wrong. No, look for deviations from your process. And that's where you'll find typically your losses, where you deviated from the process or you deviated from your rules. Check in with your accountability buddy or community. Eat a healthy dinner, then do your sauna before bedtime, whatever it looks like. But that's just an example of a healthy evening routine, but I can't overemphasize enough logging your trades. Track your habits. So this is something that I've added. I use the habit tracker app and it gives me reminders, and you can build specific habits. Say whatever your habit is, I'm getting hot. Whatever your habits are, sauna, meditating, setting your alerts, setting up your orders, you can use a habit tracker app to ensure you're remaining regimented. You can implement habit stacking where you drink your water, then you drink your athletic greens. I set out 2 glasses every night, one for my water and one for my athletic greens. And that's just an example of habit stacking. I had started out with drinking lemon water and then I added on athletic greens, and I'm just habit stacking to make it a little bit easier to comply and be more compliant. When doctors are trying to get patients to take their medicine, one of the things they do is, what do you do in the morning? Brush your teeth. Okay, put your medicine by your toothbrush. That's an example of habit stacking. Create standardized operating procedures around your trading process to ensure you remain consistent. Going back to that word structure, implementing structure wherever you can to ensure your success. No problem, JG. Hey, thanks, Dawn. That's nice. This is a written habit tracker. You don't have to have the habit tracker app. You can have whatever it is. A lot of the planners now, this one is my daily planner, but they have habit trackers on the bottom. This is a weekly planner. They have habit trackers on the bottom. I didn't show you my completed one. I guess I should have. That's a completed one, but there's a lot of ways that you can track your habits. And if you're trying to implement new rules around yourself, because I promise you, we're our worst enemy in trading and we need to protect ourselves from ourselves. Set realistic goals, daily, weekly, monthly target setting, importance of process over profits. Have a daily max loss, a daily profit target. And that, I'm not saying your daily profit target should mean you shut down for the day. However, you should then back down on pressing. You should not be doing a full court press at the end of the day if you've already hit your daily profit target. Weekly profit target, you need to have goals to work toward. And those goals can be a dollar amount. It also can be a percentage improvement over the prior year or the prior quarter. It doesn't necessarily need to be tied to dollars. And the post-trading routine, this is the slide that I had that on. Let me save you a bit of money on personal trading coaching. Reviewing trades and adjusting your strategy. Log your edge. If you have 2-3 edges, log what edge you were using. And this is where most traders fall down. They don't know what edge they're using, or they just kind of group a bunch of edges all together, like mean reversion trade. Well, what type of mean reversion trade? Was it a bear mean reversion trade? And were you using daily 12 EMA or 8 EMA, or were you using RSI or a combination of both, or a super stack alert? Whatever it is, log your trades and then log the category of your edge. And then mental and emotional reflection. When you refused to use a stop loss, what was going on? Journaling that. And Jared Tendler's book, The Mental Game of Trading, he goes over journaling and the importance when we deviate from our process. Journaling why we did, and that way we can hit it head on. Be consistent and neutral in your reviews. If you're emotionally detached to a loss or even a gain, and you're putting your emotions in that, it's hard to be neutral. And be real with yourself. Face it. Ignoring it, trust me, it doesn't go away. And analyze regardless of how painful it can be. If you just had the biggest loss of your career, that's the best day to go in and journal and make sure it doesn't happen again. What happened? What was going on? What red flags did you ignore? And trust me, in dating and marriage, there's always red flags, and we ignore them early on and they come back to bite us in the butt. So don't ignore red flags. And never stop analyzing your trades. I definitely don't journal as much as I did at the beginning when I'm on cruise control, and I put that in quotation marks because you're never on cruise control in trading to a degree. But when I'm hitting a rough patch, that's when I go back to journaling and hitting it hard to reflect, what did I miss? Did my process deviate, or have market conditions changed and I didn't adapt quick enough? Which is usually what happens now with me, is I'm not adapting quick enough to market conditions. Show me a losing trader and I'll show you one who doesn't journal and or review your trades. There is a book, and now it's slipping my mind, by Annie Duke. She's a professional poker player, and she wrote a book, and it's totally applicable to trading, about no resulting. If she loses a poker hand, she's not saying, God, I'm a dummy. If she followed her process, then no, she's not. It's just the game of probabilities. They didn't go in her favor. So no resulting. Not if you, I remember showing Dan a trade where I'm not joking. I woke up on a Friday and the trade was zero. The options were totally worthless on Thursday afternoon when I shut down my computer. Woke up Friday morning, worthless. Then Gilead had some FDA news that I had no idea they had FDA news pending. And if you are a biotech trader, you should know if things have PDUFA dates pending or FDA dates pending. And they had positive trial results, and it went crazy. And I made $75,000 that day. And I shared it with Dan. And his response back to me was not, congratulations, you're a rock star. He said, how'd you sleep last night? That was his response. How'd you sleep last night? Not very good. Because I went to bed with them worthless. I shouldn't be telling you trades that worked out when I was a moron, but Amazon, I had a boatload of Amazon lottos, and I woke up on a Friday morning. You can go back and look at the date, and it was a Friday morning, I believe in 2017 or 18, when Amazon announced that they were buying Whole Foods, and Amazon went nuts. And I was like, God, I am so smart. No, I got lucky. I'd rather be good than lucky. Managing emotions. Avoid revenge trading. How to stay calm under pressure. And if you can't stay calm and things are pushing on you hard, it may be time to exit the trade. Set stop losses and walk the dog or take a lap. When I have people saying, I'm in a trade, it's working out for me, but I see the green and I want to take it. Slap a leash on that dog. And if you don't have a dog, slap a leash on that fictional dog and take it for a walk. Just take a lap. Whatever that looks like for you, jumping on the rower, going for a swim, just take a break and let your stop losses work. And again, journal emotions, what's bringing that is specific thinking and bets. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes. And think about what's bringing that specific emotion to the surface. Oh, awesome on Habit Tracker. I trade options and futures, and I sometimes trade commons. Building confidence, you have to learn to trust your strategy. Well, how can you trust your strategy? Well, you can't unless you track your strategy. So you're going to have to define your specific edge and track your results. If you are not winning more than 60% of the time, that should not be your trading edge. It's no longer an edge. If you're not winning more than 50% of the time, it's not an edge. The importance of consistency. It's super important to be consistent in how you apply the trading conditions, position size, risk management. Build it around the process, not the outcome. And check your confidence to ensure it doesn't become ego. That's one thing I can say that is, I guess if this were the middle of those old Hugh Hefner books, if you know what I mean, in the centerfold, it would have what's your biggest turnoffs. That would be my biggest turnoff in trading is ego. I can't take it. And I've had ego, and I'm sure I'll suffer from it again before my trading career is over, if it's ever over. But ego doesn't have a place in trading, because with ego comes these blind spots and you can't reflect on what you're doing wrong or right. Viewing losses is part of the game, and it is part of the game. How do you bounce back stronger is learning from it. I like to look at it as a post-mortem autopsy. The trade is dead. It's over with. I have no personal or emotional connection to it. What can I learn from it and move forward? And then look at variables or correlations that you may have missed. Was there an economic event that you missed that you didn't know about that impacted your trade? Meditate, exercise, call a friend to burn off that negative energy amassed on the day or a week. Continuous learning and adaptation, studying market trends and strategies. Keep up with financial news as it applies to the sector that you're trading. Set reminders for key economic events. I try to put these in Eastern time. I had to do the mental math from my Mountain Standard Time where I live, but 8 a.m. for my time or 10 a.m. Eastern, go back and look at the first 6 5-minute volume bars. Are any of them greater than the opening bar to the downside or upside? That tells you something on the possibility of a trade continuation. 11:30 a.m. European close. If you're trading ASML, you should know that. You absolutely should know that. Trading volatility tends to die off on names that are European trades, or names that primarily trade on European markets. Volatility tends to die off after 11:30. Also, the U.S. market can have reversals at that time. Market imbalances on close, they come out at 3:50, 10 minutes before market close. You can have volatility spikes then, and then once they pair off, you can have those reverse at 3:55. You need to know those times. Adapting when your edge is no longer working, or you acknowledge that my head's in the way. You acknowledge a consistent bias. If you're constantly a bull right now, today, you probably got hurt. It's time to face what your bias is if you have one, or maybe your edge has been working buying reversals and maybe they haven't been working the last few weeks. Acknowledge it. It's time to drop those biases. The power of small wins, consistent gains add up, compounding effect of just overall good habits. You stack that water with that athletics greens in that walk, and just the compounding effects of good habits on our trading, you will notice. Factories don't overhaul a process due to a couple of defects. They overhaul the process when there are trends. You really need to look at trends. I'm not going to judge my trading results on one day. I'm going to judge my trading results a week at a time, a month at a time, a quarter at a time. One day does not make a great or a bad trader unless you didn't follow your process. But if you have one day of big losses, and you followed your stop losses, your rules, your edge, and it still didn't work, that doesn't make a bad trader. But putting it together and you notice a trend, then yeah, maybe there's something you're missing. Maintaining work-life balance, avoiding burnout, keep a healthy mindset. I know when I first started trading, if you were a member of TCG, you know that I was absolutely obsessed 24/7 with trading. You'll get burned out on trading or just in life in general, and your brain's not firing if you're just constantly obsessed with the market. It's important to get some work-life balance. And these are this is Paul J. Meyer's Wheel of Life, family and home, financial and career, mental and health, spiritual and ethical, all these different wheels of life, and you are in the center. And if one is off balance, everything can tip, and then your life gets kind of jumbled, and it leads to divorce, bankruptcy, all the bad things. So keeping balance is super important. I've been going over 30 minutes. I promise we'll be wrapping up soon. accountability and support, join a trading community. Check us out at Chart Guys, or find a mentor, accountability partner, even if that's your partner and they know nothing about trading. Commit to them. Say, hey, tomorrow I will not trade options. I will only trade commons, whatever it is that you're struggling with, or I won't take more than 5 trades. If you're over trading, just saying it out loud to someone builds in accountability. Same thing when you tell your family you're on a diet and they see you at the family reunion and you're eating your weight and cornbread dressing, marked guilty. Whatever it is, or you're not drinking and your friends see you out, and it builds in that accountability. Wait, I thought you said you weren't drinking, and they see you with alcohol. It just telling someone builds in that automatic support. Risk management as a habit. Never risk more than X%, and whatever it is based on your account size, just ensuring that you don't have the risk of ruin. Develop your risk parameters based on your account size and your trading style. And swing trading risk and day trading risk, they vary considerably. That list of doodads I talked about earlier, if you don't have time, or you are newer to trading and don't have the mental bandwidth to say, okay, what if I multiply that times the stop loss, what would the risk be? It's too quick. Then you're trading on too short of a time frame. Trade on a larger time frame, and it gives you more time to review that trading plan more before entry, because the exactness is not required, as day trading, scalping requires exactness. Base your entries and exit based on the chart, taking, again, your consideration for risk of ruin. Role of discipline. Stick to your strategy. Not over trading or chasing losses. Give yourself the day or week off. If you notice a deviation or a bad trend, your goal is to follow the plan regardless of emotional impulses. So if you have an impulse, if Charting Man Dan says, I'm entering Tesla long, and you're already done trading for the day, then you are done trading for the day. No impulsive trading. We need to develop an action plan now. What steps do we need to start implementing for good trading habits to start today? Set your goals down, write down your trading rules, download a habit tracker, either paper, build one in Excel or Google Sheets. Set aside time every day for chart review. Maybe that's 1 day a week. Maybe that's every day. If you're a crypto trader, set your reminders. Another example from the book Atomic Habits is he removed social media from his work computer to keep him focused. I don't have social media on this computer because I don't want to be tempted and start looking at Instagram and not stay focused on the chart. So implement actions that will help you become a better trader. And then here's what I'm going to challenge you with. So here's an example of 75 Hard by Andy Frisella. He came up with 75 Hard, the diet, choose a nutrition plan, exercise, water, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is his rigid steps. It's not a lot of steps in order to make your life healthier. Well, here is my proposal to you. Let's start this on Saturday. So if you're a crypto trader, it'll be applicable. If you are a markets trader, then you can still implement it Monday, but get prepared and start writing your trading habits down and put them in motion starting this Saturday. Iron Trader 60 is what we're going to call it. So for the next 60 days, choose a trading edge and stick to it. Avoid other setups and chasing shiny things. How do I know about chasing shiny things? Because I've done it. What do dogs do when they chase a car? What typically happens? They get ran over. Stick to your rules no matter what. Have a pre-trading plan that's specific to your day, your sector name that you're focusing on. Set your alerts, prep your orders, review how many ever charts that are applicable to you, what type of trader you are before the trading day. And then ensure you're doing a post-trading routine. Analyze your trades every single day and weekend, noticing losses that were still within your rules or parameters. And so I'm kind of going off Andy Frisella's progress pictures, that the equivalent of taking progress pictures in 75 Hard is your post-trading routine. If you fail to follow the rules or guidelines as part of the Iron Trader 60, start over. So if you are in day 5 of this challenge and you fail to follow a rule, it's not game over. The next day, start over and add a day. So instead of 60 days, now you're doing 61 days. And if we're being honest, all traders that remain in the game, they follow Iron Trader for life. It's not just a 60-day challenge. But just to jumpstart your trading, I want to challenge you to Iron Trader 60 for the next 60 days. Do a pre-trading game plan with your trading plan and your rules. Do a post-trading review and analyze your results, and do this every day for 60 days. Conclusion: discipline and consistency. Stick to your trading plan. Avoid impulsive decisions. Do your risk management that you know to do. Emotional control. Stay calm. Avoid revenge trading. Continuously learning and adapting to the market. Review and improve. Success in trading comes from good habits, not luck. All right. Now I'm going to open the floor for any questions that you may have, and take a sip of water. And just a reminder, we have a ton of free resources on our website. You don't have to pay to be part of our community. We would love to have you in our community, but you don't have to pay in order to get a ton of free resources. Right here in the YouTube chat, I pinned it at the top. You can just click on that link and you can get a ton of different PDFs or introduction to technical analysis, whatever it may be. So click on that and check that out. All right, I'm going to give it a few more minutes for any questions. Oh, Dawn, that's awesome. I'm glad this helped. I wanted to do this since this was the second webinar of the year. We're in a new year, and yeah, we're 2 months into the new year, but it's never a bad time to hit the reset button and start trading like the trader that you're meant to be. I had a trading student. He's like, I want you to teach me how to be a killer. And interestingly enough, he already knew what he needed to do to be a killer. And he's a killer trader. He is an absolute killer. And it's fun to watch. So you don't have to, it doesn't have to be January 1st for you to start being a killer trader. Yeah, any questions you have, let me know. I'm here. Again, I got that Farrah Fawcett looking thing going on my head. And if you're too young to know who Farrah Fawcett is, sorry. All right. I'm just clicking around looking for questions. And don't forget to give me a follow on X at ChartGal Lori. That's my name right there, at ChartGal Lori on X. I won't spam you, I promise. Typically, how many trades would you say a good options trader takes? When I was reviewing my trades for last week, all I needed was PLTR. That's all I needed to make my week. And it's just a reminder that you want those high conviction trade setups. And that was such a high conviction trade setup for me. That's all I needed. And I went back and looked at my B, C, D trades, not based on the results, based on the setups. So you only need a few good trades. So a great options trader may not trade at all in a given day. They're waiting for their conditions to present. If you are a full-time day trader, a full-time options day trader, maybe 4 or 5 trade setups per day, that's a lot. There's a lot of mental capital that's depleted every time you click that button. So your mental capital is going down as the day wears on. So just remember, your trade at the end of the day, your mental capital is not what it was at the beginning of the day. So factor that into how many trades you take. Yes, I acknowledge pre-market high-low candles the same day as during the day. So if it's Tesla or Nvidia and I'm looking at the high and low of pre-market, I'm going to factor that into my decision making and use those as strong and clear support and resistances, because I know Tesla and Nvidia have a lot of volume in pre-market and after hours. You know, if it's a name like Netflix, I'm not going to factor it in as much or give it as much weight because Netflix doesn't have as much after hours volume as Nvidia or Tesla. So it depends on the name. Farrah Fawcett was your childhood crush. If you break your plan consistently somehow, you need to change your plan, or you need to take a break from trading, because it's not a question of if you will implode, it's a matter of when. So if you consistently break your trading plan, you likely need to revise your plan. Is it too rigid? Does it fit the type of trading style that you lean toward? Or are you just breaking rules to break rules and you need a reset button? And that usually comes best if you take a break. Hey, Lorenzo, well, if you want to check us out at chartguys.com, everything about our community is there. I'm in the community almost every single day, if not every single day. So if you want to check us out, chartguys.com, and everything to do with about our membership is here. So I will copy this link and I will put that in chat. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is for you to protect your mental capital. And that over trading, just to say this again, that over trading, it just really depletes you and you find yourself mentally drained at the end of the day. And if you go back and look, which you should be, look at your decision making, it's not as stellar as it was at the beginning of the trading day. Oh, Tony, that's awesome. Awesome, Kelly. Nice to hear. I really appreciate y'all being here. And if you could hit that like button on the video, it really helps the YouTube algorithm say that we're not total morons, which we're not. We are definitely not the Rolex, Lambo traders. That I can tell you. We're the goats and cow traders. So we are not flashy. We're not going to push in your face how much money we made and at the detriment of possibly you being on the other side of that trade. We'll show you when we take trades live. We'll be real with you. I screenshot a ton of my entries and exits. I try to every time when I'm live streaming so you see that we're really taking these trades. Lorenzo, we do have a 1-800 number. We do have an info@chartguys.com. If you want to email that email address with your questions, we'll get back to you. Goats, not goats. You're welcome. Kevin, Stevie, Lorenzo, thank you all for being here. I'm going to wrap it up. You've heard my voice a little too long. Thank you for being here and use stop losses.